Wow, I am not popular tonight. What's up, everybody? This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United, live with J number 82. I didn't really promote today. Sorry about that. I was really busy today. I didn't really get have a chance to really do much today. I had a lot to do, so I didn't really promote today's live really. So if you didn't get any notifications because I kind of poorly promoted today's live and I wanted to tap in, just wanted to do a little quick live because I realized something. I realized that it's been 15 years since I posted my first video on YouTube. God damn, I've been doing this for 15 years. What's up, Cepeda? A1, what's up, BJ? So I've been doing this for 15 years, technically 16 years because the channel started in 2007. But I realized that I didn't post my first video till 2008. I think it was the summer of 2008. But the channel had already existed. I would mostly use it to watch other videos and get inspirations for videos. So we're gonna talk a little bit about my history on YouTube. If you don't know my story, why I did this, what made me want to do it, what YouTube was like at the time. Because you guys got to understand, YouTube in 2007 was not YouTube of 2023. Not even close. YouTube in 2007 was like freedom. Like seriously, it was like freedom. It was like running in a beach naked with no cares in the world. That's what YouTube was like in 2007. No lie, I'm not even making this up. That's what it felt like. You could say whatever, talk whatever mess you wanted to, talk about whatever you wanted to without worrying about being canceled. You know what I mean? Without being uh, called out. It was almost like a freedom of speech. Everyone had a voice. Everyone had their own thing. And it didn't matter if you were a Chicano. It didn't matter if you were a Latino. It didn't matter if you were white. It didn't matter if you were gay. It didn't matter if you were straight. It didn't matter who you were. If you had a voice and you had something to say, that's what YouTube was back in those days. And you had a lot of people, like someone in the comments said, Faded Holy Soldier. If you guys remember that fool, he was a Guatemalan dude. He was half Puerto Rican, half Guatemalan. I actually talked to him a long time ago. And he used to do the funny thing, the internet norteño, and he used to do all these others, like just he was hella funny, bro. Always making fun of rap and stuff like that. There was the Amazing Atheist. There was a lot of people, you know what I mean? Even like David Duke was on YouTube back in those days. There were like white supremacists, black supremacists. There was that fool, what was his name? Tommy Sotomayor. There was who else? There was just a lot of people back in those days. But one thing I will give you guys, what gave me the inspiration were the black YouTubers. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of them back then. I remember Tommy Sotomayor. I remember King Willie P, I think was his name, Sergeant Willie P or something like that. I remember this one black girl that she was hella cool. I remember I used to talk to her on the comments and she'd always respond. I can't remember her name, but she used to make good videos. So there was a lot of African Americans and they would always talk about their community. And I used to be like, wow, that's pretty dope. I wonder if there's any Latinos or Raza doing this. Nope, none. And trust me, I searched. I searched and searched and searched and could not. I think Faded Holy Soldier was the only Latino back then. And he wasn't really talking about Raza issues. I used to be like, well, damn, that's crazy that there's no Raza out there talking about our issues. And there were a couple that I found at that time. And I remember one dude was a gay dude from Washington D.C., but he would talk more about immigrant issues. I think he was Peruvian. There was a dude out in Los Angeles named Nawi Selot. He was I think he was with the Mexica movement. He used to do videos where he used to troll like racist and like back then they had this group called the Minutemen. They were like these wannabe fucking uh, wannabe immigration guys. They were weirdos, and I remember he used to troll them. Uh, I do remember one dude named Unapologetic Mexican. He was around for a little bit. I do remember a Puerto Rican lady too, but I can't remember her name. And that was about it as far as like any raza on YouTube. So I was like, wow, there's nobody really talking about these issues. And I was like, shit. Well, I like I like to talk. I like to talk, and I like to uh I have a voice. You know what I mean? I said, well, why don't I do it? Fuck it. Let's try it out. If it sucks, I won't do it. I'll stop doing it. But if it's good, I'll try it. So I tested it out. I made a video. I can't remember what my first video was. I think it was called Message to the Latino Community, I think. And you got to remember, at the time, I was a lot more political. I was involved in a lot of political organizations back then. I used to hang out with a couple of rappers who were political rappers. So I was really on that power to the people, Chicano power thing at that time. I really wanted to see Raza move forward. And I really wanted to give at least the best positive message I can. It wasn't perfect. And I remember I was very angry at the time, and I would cuss a lot, and I'll get very passionate about what I would talk about. And sometimes it would come out kind of cringe, but nobody else was doing it. So I would talk about a lot of political issues at the time that were going on at the time. Uh, I would talk about interracial dating. I would talk about within the Raza community. I mean, I talked about gangs, like gang murders around Oakland, which people didn't like. I talked about certain things about Oakland. I made one of the first, if not probably the only at that time. Nobody probably. I think this is something I could give myself the crown for. I made the very first YouTube video about the history of Chicano rap from the Bay. I did the first one. I'm pretty sure I was the only one that did it at the time. It was called like the history of Northern California Chicano rap or something like that. And I talked about Darkroom Familia. I talked about the Brown Skin Artists, the Funky Aztecs. I talked about different groups from back then. You know what I mean? That were already old school by that point. Today they're even more old school. I was one of the first ones to do that. I remember I did some reviews back in those days on movies, and I think I did a review like on the Mac and a couple other movies. I remember, I would just talk about different issues. I would talk about whatever was in the news back then. If there was a murder, if there was like remember the gang rape that happened in Richmond? I talked about that. I talked about when there was a lot of murders going on in Richmond, a lot of murders going on in Oakland. I talked about some of the gang encounters I had. And back then I didn't used to show my face. I didn't used to show my beautiful face. So I didn't show my face for many years, many years. You feel me? And back then I was just scared. I didn't know. I didn't want to show my face. My thing was like those who knew me. You know what I mean? And a lot of people did know me by my voice. They were like, "Hey, you're that fool doing the videos." Like a lot of people back then knew who I was because they knew my voice. And Shortcut says the Oscar Grant. Yes, and I did a lot of protest videos. I filmed the Oscar Grant protest. Actually, the Oscar Grant protest videos were some of my highest ones at the time, and they actually even made it on the news. Believe it or not, I mean, there were a couple of news reports where it said a video courtesy of Oakland Latinos United. I shit you not. You know what I mean? But YouTube in 2007, like I said, it was like running in a beach naked, not caring, bro. That's what it was. It was freedom. You could say whatever you want, talk about whatever you want, and not be afraid to get canceled. You know what I mean? That's why I was able to cuss and talk mess and say things back then, because you could get away with it. No one cared. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. But, I took the initiative because I felt that at the time there was just no racial representation on YouTube. And I always tried to come at it with a positive perspective. I never tried to come at it glorifying gangs, glorifying drugs, glorifying the streets. You know what I mean? I never came at it talking shit about anyone or starting drama. And I've stayed away from that, you know what I mean? But I did videos for a lot of years. And then I hit a stumbling point. And that's what messed up my channel for a while. But, I worked my way back up to the top. So, roughly around 2012, I started kind of getting away from all that political stuff. I was kind of just had a bad taste in my mouth with it. I was tired of it. I needed to get my priorities straight, especially in life. I was getting older. And then my dad got sick at the time, so I was kind of lightweight taking care of my dad a little bit. And I was trying to find work and just doing a lot of things. And I just because I wasn't really political anymore, I just left the channel dormant for hella years, at least a good 4 years. It was probably for like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Probably I didn't make another video from 2012 to about 2016 or 17, somewhere around, roughly around there. But the thing was, the reason I didn't do it is I kind of had lost my angle, sort of say. But then the thing was, what you guys don't know is when I started Oakland Latinos United back then, I kind of wanted to be in the direction it is right now, actually. Believe it or not, as hard to believe as that sounds, I wanted it to be kind of how it is now. More of a Raza forum, more for the people, more of talking about issues of the day, talking about the things going on, talking about memories of Oakland, of the Bay, talking about different things, you know what I mean? But there were elements of that, but it kind of went sideways because I was so into all that political stuff. So it kind of started taking a political turn. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. There was a time where I was like, my channel's becoming a political machine of sort. And I just don't like that. But I didn't know how to come back from that, which is the reason which is the reason why I had a stumbling in a way for almost 4 years, and I didn't know how to come back at it. I was like, what am I going to come back as? I'm no longer Jose the political guy. So, at the time I was working on a lot of things. I was reading a lot of books. I was reading a lot about confidence, about how to be a better person. I was just reading a lot of different things. I got really big into the self-help thing in a way. So I came back with it a little bit with that angle. I would talk about confidence. I would talk about little things here and there. I would make a video here and there, and I could remember reading comments like, people like, where the hell you been? I said, years, it's been years. We thought you died. Some people said they thought I died. I was like, what the hell? I died. So it was like some people were happy, but there wasn't much out there. Like, because I had left the channel dormant, it's like people forgot about me. They didn't care. Because I would make videos here and there, try to see where I could come back at it. But the videos had very, very low views. You know what I mean? And you could tell if you watch those videos that I was lost a little bit. I didn't know what angle to come at it because I was talking about different sporadic things. You know what I mean? And then I kind of started finding my niche a little bit, you could say. I started kind of seeing, okay, I could still be Jose Oakland Latino. Well, that's another thing. When I started, I wasn't Jose Oakland Latinos United. I went by this name, Jay the Wanderer. Who remembers that? If you remember been watching me for the old days, I was Jay the Wanderer, Oakland Latinos United, the voice of the Latino community in the Bay Area, California, and beyond. Remember that? That was my slogan. I actually had a little slogan that I just came up with. I was like, you know what? That sounds kind of catchy. I'm going to say that. And the reason I said Jay the Wanderer was I just wanted to be different. Partly because when I was young, they used to call me El Vago or Vago on the streets. Those who know old school Jose, Vago, that's what everyone used to call me. So, a Vago is like a wanderer. So I was like, you know what? A wanderer. I said, my name is Jose, so Jay. And then I don't know, it just sounded like the name of an oldie or something, like Jay the Wanderer. Like that just sounds like the name of an oldie or old school song or something. It just had a cool little catch to it, Jay the Wanderer. So I was like, Jay the Wanderer, Jose El Vago, basically. I was just saying Jose El Vago in English. That was it, Jay the Wanderer. So I was like, Jay the Wanderer. And I don't know how I came up with the voice of the Latino community. It just came out. And it sounded almost like a car salesman. Like, Cal Worthington Chevrolet, come over here and buy your car. You know, it had a ring like that. And I was like, Jay the Wanderer, Oakland Latinos United, the voice of the Latino community in the Bay Area, California, YouTube, and beyond. Or I would say Jose Oakland Latinos United, a.k.a. Oakland Latinos Unidos. I would say that. I still say that. And it just had a ring to it. Like you were going to remember that. Like the voice of the Latino. Who the fuck is this for? The voice of the Latino community. He got some nuts. But, yeah, for when I came back at it, I don't know. I just got tired of the Jay the Wanderer thing, and I just gave it up. And I just like Jose. I'm just gonna say my name. I'm just gonna be who I am. I'm Jose. You know what I mean? And Jay the Wanderer was the old Jose who was into protesting and stuff. This is the new Jose. And oh yeah, and I'm also the one that started the original Barrio Tours. It wasn't called Barrio Tours, but I actually went around Fruitvale. I ran around East 7th Street. I ran around different neighborhoods. This is back in like 2008. You know what I mean? You can still find those videos. They're like the early version of Barrio Tours. You know, and that the Barrio Tours concept, believe it or not, came before I even had the channel. I remember one day I was working kind of like I was helping out this construction company back in like, I want to say 06, 05. And I remember I was in Monument in Concord. You know, you guys know where if you know Concord, you know where Monument is. That's like the Mexican area of Concord. And I remember, hey, what's up, Richard? I remember I was walking around Monument, and I was looking around. I was looking at the raza walking around. I was looking at the Mexican stores, and I was like, you know what? I started thinking about Hood to Hood, and I'm like, you know what? That'd be dope. If someone made like a Barrio de Barrio in the Bay Area where they show the Mission, they show Fruitvale, they show Monument, they show Pittsburgh, they show 23rd Street, Richmond, they show Franklin and Sacramento. I was like, that'd be dope. That's never been done. And I had that concept even then. Why I didn't do it at that point, I'm not sure. Why it took so many years. But I had that concept even then. I just thought it was a dope concept. I was like, you know what? We could show the world what our barrios are like. You know what I mean? That it's not just East LA. That we got the Mission, we got Fruitvale, we got, you know what I mean? We got Hayward, 8th Street, we got, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of what where I got that from, that idea. And that was like in 2006 when I got that idea. And then when I did my channel, I started kind of doing it, but because I was so into the political stuff, it kind of threw me off of that. You know what I mean? What's up, Little Mafia? But Latin Kings, what's up, brother? But yeah, so a lot of ideas that came, that's what I mean. When I first started the channel, I kind of wanted it to be the way it is now. But at the time, like I said, I was so political, involved in political things. It went that direction. And I was kind of like, I when I was trying to come back, I was like, man, do you guys know the word congruent? You know what that means? I don't know if you guys know what that word means. So I wanted to come back congruent with who I was now. I didn't want to seem fake. I didn't want to seem like, but at the same time, I didn't want to see myself being like the angry former political guy that hates politics now. I didn't want to come back as that either. I wanted to come back genuine. Like, look, I know I was into politics back then. I'm still into politics now because I'm always going to be political. I said, but I'm not hung up on politics. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wanted to be congruent with who I was. You know what I mean? And at that point in time, I just didn't know how to do it. So it took time. I worked on it. I started making videos. I started building up. You know what I mean? I started building up the channel in a new form. I started talking about Raza issues. I started doing the Barrio tours. And then, when I started seeing all the other uh, YouTubers that were Raza, I started reaching out to them. And believe it or not, I did get on one channel when I was on a hiatus, when I wasn't making any videos. I got on the homie from Sacramento, Chicano Ideas, or Famous Wolf. Uh, and I got on his channel, and he did the first interview where he ever seen my face. You know what I mean? And that was in 2015, right before I started the channel up again slowly. And then he did an interview, and then he was like, look, bro, he got the same thing. He was younger than me, and he was like, you're one of the few Raza out there, the few Chicanos talking about these issues, bro. He's like, you inspired me in many ways, bro. He's like, you should get back to it, bro. And I was like, I do want to do it again. I just don't know at what angle to come at it with. You know what I mean? And then you guys might remember when my mom and dad died. I don't know if I made a video when my dad died, but I definitely made a video when my mom died. You could hear the sadness in my voice in that video. I made a video when my homie died, when I talked about drug addiction. You could hear the sadness in my voice when I made that video too. I started showing my vulnerable side too, that I was a human and I was going through things, but I was trying to stay positive, you know what I mean? And then I started revisiting the barrio tours. I started talking about the gang issues again. When the M and the Nuestra Familia did the peace treaty, I talked about that at the time. And then obviously when Gunner and them guys came out, American Cholo, I reached out to all of those guys. And I came on, Rojo's channel when it was Convict's Perspective with Rojo. I came on with Gunner, and that brought me more views. You know what I mean? And then, and I started just talking about different topics. I started seeing everyone doing lives. So I said, you know what? Why don't I do lives? You know what I mean? And if you guys remember, I used to start the lives back in the days, the Live with Jays, the first ones, and nobody would be on. There'd be maybe like 2 or 3 people on the whole time. But I just kept going. I said, you know what? Right now, we only have 3 people, but in the future, we'll have more. And I just kept at it and kept at it and kept at it. And then when StreamYard came along, I started doing that. Started having panels, talking about different issues, kind of like the Afro-Mexican issue we talked about the other day. You know what I mean? And, just that's been the history of, yeah, Kelvin's Perspective. That's been the history. And then also I was clowning around with Bean and them on Dankin' and Drankin'. And I've been on a homie from San Diego's channel, a Sea Dog. I've been on other channels too. So that's gotten me people for sure. You know what I mean? So that, and then my channel got monetized. So that's been helping me out. I get a little revenue here and there from them. And yeah, man, I just been going forward, you know what I mean? And then I ask myself sometimes, Jose, why the hell you been doing this for 15 years and you don't have no shine? You know what I mean? Like you should. You know what I mean? But I told myself, like I talked to myself, I asked myself, Jose, why do we do this? Why are we wasting our time with this? You know what I mean? No, I don't have big views. I'm not one of the big channels. I've been doing this for 15 years. And yeah, we make a little something on here. And we got people views and we talk about cool things. Why do we do it? Isn't it a waste of time at this point? But I figured out finally why I do it. Because I love doing it. Because I love doing this. And I stick to my original slogan, the voice of the Latino community in the Bay Area, California, Oakland, and beyond. That's why I do it, because nobody else is telling our story. You know what I mean? Here in the Bay Area, at least as far as Chicanos go and Raza goes. You feel me? So I feel it's up to me to at least tell my story and tell the stories that I do know. You know what I mean? So people could know. For when I'm dead and gone, people could go back and say, wow, look, that dude Oakland Latinos United, he talked about some cool things. Look at what he talked about. And that's why I do it. in a way, like Butthead says, it is self-therapy. And you know, I'm a people person. I'm a fucking social butterfly, as they call it. I like us. I like meeting people. I like connecting with people. I like talking about different things. I love history. You know, I love culture. I love music. You know, those who know me know who I am. And that's why I do this. And I love my area. I love the Bay. I love Oakland. I love where I'm from, bro. That goes without question. I love where I'm from. And I love to tell the story of where I'm from with pride. With fucking pride. I love telling the story. Trust me when I tell you this. You know what I mean? You know, Oakland can be the worst place on earth, but it could be the most beautiful place on earth to me, bro. You know? And that's why I do it. You know, because I have so much like passion for it, you know, and I love my area so much. And that's why I do. I know that sounds crazy, and some people are like, how are you gonna love your area so much? But I do. I love where I'm from. I'm guilty of that. And there's nothing you can do to change that. I love being from Oakland. I love being from the Bay Area, period. I love being Yay Area. You feel me? That's me. That's who I am. And that's why I do it. Because I want people to get the Chicano perspective of the Bay Area, because it's never told. It's never talked about. We're always pushed to the side. And I was like, basta con eso. We cannot be silent. We gotta tell our stories. You feel me? And that's why I do this. Because if nobody else is gonna do it, then fuck it. Jose, Jay the Wanderer, Boggle, whatever you want to call me, from East 7th Street, from the Fruitvale District, from East Oakland, you know what I mean, who lived all over the Bay, even lived in motherfucking Sacramento, is going to tell you the story. And I'll tell you, I'm going to start telling more Sacramento stories too, because I don't talk about Sacramento as much, but I'll bring those stories out too. You feel me? That's in the works too. But because I have some pretty cool memories out there too, so you know that'll be coming up too. I mean, you guys heard 1,000 stories about East 7th Street, so I'm gonna start telling a little bit more of my other cities I lived in. You feel me? Who lives in Contra Costa County now? Coco County, represent. You know what I mean? But that's just it, bro. That's why I've been doing this for so many years. And let me know in the comments if you've been watching me since Jay the Wanderer days. I'm curious how many people on here have known me since that time. And, you know, it was just last year when I decided to start. Well, no, was it last year or the year before? I think it was 2021 when I started finally showing my face. Can you imagine that? After what, like 14 years of doing this channel, I finally showed my face. Alameda, Alameda till I die, South Oakland, San Leandro. But leave it in the comments. Who's been watching me since Jay the Wanderer days, if you know? Shortcut, Cepeda. You feel me? And yeah, man. Gracias, Tone Loke. Yeah, man. So it's been a lot of years, bro. Been a lot of years I've been doing this, and I'm, you know, until I get tired of it or I feel it's a waste of time, then I'll stop doing it. But for now, I guess I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep bringing you the story as best I can. And if you notice, I don't start dramas with people. I don't go out talking shit about it. I mean, trust me. I would love to talk shit about some people. There's some YouTubers out there that I'm just not feeling, but I don't do it because I just don't want that. That's just what I don't want. That's all. I just don't want that. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? And it's I just want to keep it positive and keep it as best as I can. If some YouTube drama comes my way, then I'll handle it as best I can. But as far as I know, I'm trying to keep it cool. You notice I don't have an ego. I'm not on here thinking I'm hard or thinking I got something to prove or thinking this. Nah. You feel me? I'm just doing my thing, and that's it. As a motherfucking Chicano from the Bay, from Oakland, you feel me? That's it. But yeah, man. I've been watching since 2000, but I had another YouTube account. Orale. What was your YouTube account then? I might remember it. Like that HIV. Yeah, man. But yeah, so I just wanted to tell you guys my story because I've never really told you. I've talked about it before. I think I talked about it in the Gunner, no, not the Gunner, the Rojo interview. I talked about it on the interview I did with Sea Dog, and I think I talked about it with Famous Wolf years ago. You had some about our city, Oakland. Yeah, man. Like I said, I've been doing it for a long time, bro. You know, but if you watch my videos when I came back into it, like in 2016, they're kind of weird. If you can go back and watch them, you could hear the weirdness in my voice, and I was kind of trying to find an angle, but I didn't know where to come at it. Just watch them if you see them. You feel me? That shit game. I might remember that channel. I might remember it, but it took some time. But I finally found who I am. I'm just me. You know what I mean? That's it. I shouldn't be trying to hide who I am. I'm just me, and that's it. I'm just Jose, Oakland Latinos United from the town. You're just trying to figure out your niche. Yeah, it was a sad time, bro. It was a sad time. I don't even know how I did it. I think maybe it was a form of therapy because I lost my dad, I lost my mom, and I lost my best friend around the same time. So a lot of people died around me at that time. So it was hard, bro. It was tough. It was tough, man. Thinking back on it, I'm glad that I'm healing and that I'm in a better place now mentally than I was then, because I was going through a lot of trauma then. But I kept on doing it. I've been watching you 3 years and find interesting about you talking about Chicano history in California. Yeah, man. I did. I also was one of the first ones to do a video about the Chicano raza history of Oakland. You know what I mean? Nobody had done that. Nobody. There was no videos about that on here. I did that like in 2008. You know what I mean? I did a video about the history of Chicanos in West Oakland and how the Chicano movement in the 60s. I talked about all that stuff. You know what I mean? I interviewed people back then who were in the Brown Berets and different organizations. I did all that stuff, man, because I wanted people to learn this history. Even the Afro-Mexican thing, I filmed the video at the Oakland Museum when they brought the African history of Mexico. They brought a display, a thing at the Oakland Museum. I filmed that too. I don't know if you guys remember that. You know what I mean? I did that. I did a lot of things, bro. I did a lot of things, and I had my mistakes. I ain't gonna lie. There's videos that I did that I took off because people told me it was gonna be offensive or it was gonna offend certain people. I talked shit about certain people in the past, and I since took those videos out because I didn't want drama like that. So I learned from my mistakes. I've had people tell me, "Oh, why do you talk to this person? Why do you talk to that person? Why do you do this?" Trust me, the streets talk to me. Trust me when I say that. And and there've been times where I'm like, okay, I get it, and I took it off, or I moved it, or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's just basically what it is. You're gonna make mistakes when you do YouTube. You know what I mean? You're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna learn as you go. And I've made mistakes. I made mistakes in the political world, and I've made mistakes on the streets too. You know what I mean? I've had people tell me, "Oh, why'd you make a viral tours here? That could make it hot for us." You know what I mean? "Oh, why'd you talk about this specific gang? That could make it hot too." I've had people tell me that. So I've learned from those things. You know what I mean? And that's why I try not to talk about gang stuff too much, because I know it's a sensitive issue. And when I do talk about it, I usually talk about it when it's public information. Kind of like the shooting that happened with the video shoot recently. There was an arrest. That's all public information. So I'm not talking about something that shouldn't be talked about. You know what I mean? So, I've made mistakes in the past, and I've learned from those mistakes. And thankfully, there weren't any bad consequences. But you learn. You know what I mean? But I don't really talk about stuff that shouldn't be talked about. So I'm not too worried about it. But I have I done it in the past? Yeah. Even in my political past, I did it. I talked shit about certain people. One time I called the dude. You guys probably don't know this. I called the dude a snitch one time on a video. I was like, "Who is this dude? He's acting like a cop." And then hella political organizations hit me up. I'm like, "Hey, bro, take that video down. That dude ain't a cop. He's a political guy," and blah, blah, blah. And I took the video down out of respect. but I didn't know who the dude was, and he came in acting hella crazy. So I was like, who is this dude? Is he a cop or something? What is he, a snitch? So, this was back in my early days of YouTube when I was filming protests and stuff like that and political stuff. You know what I mean? So I learned from that mistake. I learned from mistakes on here. Trust me, I've done mistakes on YouTube. You know what I mean? I know she took, yeah, because the context was kind of weird. And then, I don't know, I'll tell you what it was, Butthead. At the time, I would run into all these videos of East Coast dudes. And they were always talking about how Mexicans in California hate black people and how there's a war with blacks and Mexicans. They were just talking out of their ass. They didn't know what they were talking. They were all from the East Coast and they knew nothing about California. So I made that video to set the record straight that there's no such thing as a black and Mexican war in California. That's a fantasy. That's fools in New York that are making those stories up to gain clout and talk down on raza in California. And I set the record straight. I set the record straight that in the Northern California, blacks and raza ain't tripping off each other. And even in LA, blacks and raza ain't tripping off each other. It's mostly gang related. And that's kind of was the breakdown of that video. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was mostly people from the East Coast that were like just talking out of their butts. You know what I mean? They didn't know what they're talking about. I like that video because it showed the line of topic blacks from outside Cali were confused. Exactly, butthead. People don't live in California and know that the most about California. It's because, I don't know if you guys traveled outside of California, those of you who maybe aren't in California, but when you go outside of California, everybody thinks, and this is how it is what it is. Everybody outside of California thinks that California is only LA. That's it. Everywhere I've ever been, are you from LA? Are you from LA? Are you from LA? I'm like, and it's like, no, bro, I'm from Northern California. I'm from Oakland. And it's like everywhere. I'm used to it though. Everywhere I've been outside of California, it's always LA, 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 LA. So people assume that everything LA is all of California. And that's we know that that's further from the truth. So a lot of these people in the East Coast, they probably think that way and they don't realize that there's a whole nother part of California above Los Angeles that's totally different. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to LA, but that's just the reality of the situation. So I had to set that record straight because I felt there was just a lot of misinformation out there. And that's what it was. That's plain and simply what that video was about. You know what I mean? And no, I'm not a norteño. I'm not a sureño. I'm just, I'm from the Bay. And I can only talk about the Bay because that's where I'm from. I'm not from LA. I'm not from Stockton. I'm not from Modesto. I'm from the Bay. So I could only talk about what's going on around me here in the Bay Area. You feel me? They think LA and Oakland is close to each other. There's some people that even forget about Oakland, bro. Like, I've had some people tell me Oakland. I'm like, yeah, Oakland. So it's weird, bro. Like I said, no disrespect to anyone from LA or Southern California, but it's just at the time there were just a lot of people talking out their butts. And I had to set the record straight because it's like, for one, you're talking about gang beefs that have nothing to do with civilians. But the way they were making it seem like it was like just all blacks and raza were just killing each other in California. And I said, nah, that's not the truth. You needed to hit them with some E40 slang and pop your collar. but yeah, man, I totally forgot about that video. But yeah, that video had a lot of views, And I took down the video of a long time ago where some Sureños hit me up in Richmond. I was doing political work and they were like flexing on me. I was like, and I'm so mad I made a video about it. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm out here doing work for the raza and some cholos hit me up, man. That's messed up. And I took that down because a lot of people were mad at that because they thought I was dissing Sureños or whatever. I was like, I'm not dissing any gang, but the dudes that hit me up happen to be Sureños. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up that I'm out there doing political work to benefit raza, probably benefit their parents. And they're over here hitting me up, what gang you from? I'm like, what the fuck? I wasn't even dressed like a gang member at that time. I didn't even dress like that anymore. So it was weird. That one just came out of nowhere, bro. So, I took that one down because I didn't want to create divisions between anybody. You feel me? And it is what it is, you know? And like I said, I've learned from my mistakes. I've done things and I've said things, and and you learn. That's just how it is. That's how you learn. You know what I mean? By putting in work, by putting yourself out there, by speaking. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna say things. You know, and it is what it is. Like before too, I was very anti-white in a way. If you watch my old videos, uh, I would criticize the white race a lot, and I don't really do that anymore. I get it. The white race were the colonizers of this continent. We can't forget that. The Spaniards, the Europeans, the British, whatever, you know what I mean? But, I just can't be hateful like that towards anybody. You feel me? Because, yes, it's true what they did, but I'm trying to move on from that and just do bigger things. And when there are racist things and messed up things, for sure, I'll call it out. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not against blacks. I'm not against whites. I'm not against even other raza. I'm not against anybody. Anyone is welcome to come on my channel. Just because I'm called Oakland Latinos United doesn't mean that blacks can't come on, whites can't come on, Asians can't come. Everybody, whoever wants to come on my channel, this is freedom here, man. I'm not gonna hold anything against you, man. You feel me? I had a Malcolm X moment, definitely. Well, San Francisco, I think my grandpa was born in. I know you told me that before, that your grandpa used to be in Oakland. I remember for sure. But I don't dislike anybody, man. My band, half of it is white. So, I'm not against anybody, bro. When they come at me with some dumb stuff, then I'll be against it. If they come at me twisted or racist or messed up, then yes. Or if they do some messed up, racist, twisted stuff, then for sure I'll call it out. Come on the show, bro. In the 70s, black population occurred more than anything else, and Hispanic numbers grew in the 90s on us. Yeah, that's true. But you got to remember, before the 70s, Oakland was all white. that's what people don't want to talk about. That's the one people run from. When people are like, wow, Oakland used to be all black. I'm like, well, before that, it was all white, bro. And Hispanics had always been there in Oakland, even going back to the Peraltas. So there had always been Mexicans there. I'll agree. Their numbers grew after the 80s. I think more the 80s than the 90s, but yeah, in the 90s for sure. In the deep for sure, because there'd always been Mexicans in the middle part of Oakland, always Fruitvale and the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, Funktown, you feel me? They'd always been around those areas. Just from where Malcolm X was like before he went pilgrims to Mecca. Yeah, that's true. That was white flight. Yeah, white flight was more in the 60s, 70s, 80s is when all the whites started moving out of Oakland. But I know old people, old black and Latino and Mexicans from Oakland. And they told me the same thing. They're like, oh, yeah, when we grew up in Oakland was all white. Straight up told me like that. You know what I mean? Except for like West Oakland. West Oakland's where all the blacks and Latinos and Asians lived. You know what I mean? But East Oakland was all white. North Oakland was all white back then. That's just the truth. Read a history book about Oakland. It'll tell you. You feel me? I'm not making this up. It was what it was. That's just how it was back then. But once like the African American community started growing, once the Mexican community started growing, the Asian community too, because a lot of Asians came into. The whites started leaving. They first started leaving a lot because of the blacks that were moving in for sure, and then with the Latinos and Asians and other people coming in, you know what I mean? The whites started leaving. Yeah, the shipyards. But you got to remember, a lot of the shipyards, a lot of Chicanos came to the shipyards too, but a lot of African Americans came. A lot of whites from the South came. Oakland, the Redhead, Stepchild, Frisco, all the frame. in glory. Yeah, yeah. Oakland was also the city where they built cars. Oakland was once called the Detroit of the West. You know your history, you know. But Oakland wasn't necessarily all white. There was a lot of European immigrants in Oakland too. I mean, they're white, obviously, but there was a lot of ethnic Europeans. There were Irish people. You gotta remember, these people weren't considered white in those times. There was a lot of Irish people. There was Italians. There was Portuguese. There were Greek people, Germans. I don't know Germans what they were considered at the time. There were Mexicans back then. There were blacks, obviously, Asians too. But most of the Asians at that time were mostly Chinese and Filipino. At that time, um, you know what I mean. But yeah, Oakland had a lot of Catholic whites or Europeans at that time. Like I said, Portuguese, Italians, Irish are a perfect example. North Oakland used to be the Italian area of Oakland. That was Little Italy in Oakland. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? That's where all the Italians used to live back in the days. That's why if you could still find some streets with Italian names in North Oakland. West Oakland originally was a mixed area. People don't know that. It was mixed with blacks, Mexicans, Italians, Portuguese, Irish. And then when the blacks started coming in the 40s, a lot of those people left and a small Mexican community stayed in West Oakland, which doesn't get talked about a lot. That was the first Mexican community in Oakland. You know what I mean? That's how it was. My grandma used to work at the canneries with a lot of raza. Yeah, Del Monte. Same with Westside Berkeley. Westside Berkeley is where all the blacks and Chicanos came back then. Also Richmond too. In Richmond, you had the black people came to North Richmond. They came to Central Richmond, but then there was already a Mexican community that existed in Central Richmond, even before the black community really started growing. So Mexicans had always been there too. That's the thing. Mexicans, we've always been here. There's this lie that we're just this new group that started coming in the 90s. No, my family's been here since 1940, since 1943. I have friends that have their families have been here since like the 1920s, 1910s, 100 and some years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Jose has been on YouTube so long. He's scared shortcut was only in diapers. Jose's indigenous to Jingletown. All heads used to tell me West Oakland was mostly Portuguese and some Italians. Yeah, that's true, Oaklander. That is true. There were a lot of Portuguese, a lot of Italians, Mexicans. There were blacks too, but the black community wasn't as big as after the 1940s. You know. But yeah, that's how it was. Yeah, my grandma came here in 1940 after World War II. Yeah, a lot of families came during the war and after the war. They came from New Mexico, from Texas. A lot of Tejanos came from out there. You know what I mean? People from Nuevo Mexico and Arizona too. So you had a lot of those people out here too back in the days, and you could still meet a lot of old Chicanos in Oakland. If you ask them, they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, my parents were from Texas or my parents were from New Mexico." You know what I mean? Like Pinky de Vaca, who was killed in 1968 by Oakland police. His family was from New Mexico. So yeah, there's this history. Downtown has, yep, Clorox. I mean, so many companies were started in Oakland, bro. Oh yeah, Timo. Clorox, Dryer's Ice Cream, Safeway started in Oakland. Yeah, the Parkins were from Texas. Yep. Uh, Dryer's Ice Cream, Clorox. What else? Mother's Cookies, Nabisco. I don't know if Nabisco started in Oakland, but they definitely were in Oakland. A lot of factories and companies used to be out here. Del Monte, Mother's Cookies, Sunshine's Biscuits, if you remember that. You know what I mean? But, you know, and that's what I do. I try to tell the story of the Latinos in Oakland, the Mexicans, the Chicanos in Oakland, because our story is never really told in Oakland. And I think it's important for our history to be documented. Why not? What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? We have a history here, and we've made history in Oakland, and that's just how it is. You feel me? It doesn't mean that we're taking away from blacks or from whites or from Europeans or from anybody. But That's how you build bridges, is you bring out people's history. You feel me? And it is what it is, whether people like it or not. Sometimes you have to offend people to get your way, but it is what it is. And that's why I do Oakland Latino. That's another reason why I do Oakland Latinos United, because I want mine and our story to be told. You feel me? And that's how it is. And I've studied a lot about Oakland, not just Mexican or Black history. I've studied about Oakland's history, period. That's how I know about Oakland so much. You feel me? I had to start somewhere. I had to start with my hometown first. But yeah, man. So yeah, I've been doing this, like I said, since 2007, man. And my first official video dropped in 2008. And really, Oakland Latinos United as a project, you know what I mean? As a project, this project, Oakland Latinos United, really started in 2003. That's how far back it goes. So it's really like 20 years old at this point. You know what I mean? And really, the documentation started in 2006 or 5, something like that. Whenever MySpace came out, that was the first time I ever put anything down of Oakland Latinos United, was on MySpace. Now, who on here remembers me from MySpace? If you doubt, those are the people that have been following me since way back. You know what I mean? Oakland the lowest in regards to crime. Sunshine Biscuit, yeah. Who remembers that when I was on MySpace, when Oakland Latinos United, that's when I first really started putting all the information about Chicano history in Oakland, was MySpace. Dial-up internet, yeah, that's true, bro. Julio Solorio, you're not lying, bro. I had dial-up internet back then, yep. With the but everybody had dial-up internet back then. But yeah, man. So I just wanted to remember the 880 by the Coliseum had to sign out entering. Yeah. Remember the castle by the Coliseum? He used to fax in videos. Bro, I remember it was torture. You guys don't even know, bro. It was torture putting in a video on YouTube, because it would take forever to download. Like, it would take forever to upload. It would take at least an hour for it to upload. So if I wanted to download like 2 videos, upload 2 videos, that shit would take me like 3 hours, bro. I'm not even making this up. That shit was slow. It would just be a line barely moving. And then you come back like an hour later, barely even in the middle, like, You know what I mean? That's really how it was early YouTube, bro. It was a pain to upload videos. The castle, yep. The bowling games with the bowl, yep. And then I remember the baseball. I remember where the baseball cage. I remember that. I remember the boats. He had the sand in the Nokia to get downloaded. I had a Nokia. That's hella funny. You guys are reading my mind. I had all those things, bro. Internet. Actually, before international, it was actually San Pablo was the host, bro. You feel me? But yeah, man. So yeah, that's my history, bro. I don't think I've ever really told you my story as Oakland Latinos United, my channel, basically how it started. Maybe you guys knew. I probably hinted at it, but I never made a live dedicated to the whole story of what made me want to do it, and how there were little ideas that had already existed years before the channel was even thought of. You know what I mean? Like Barrio Tours, that concept came to me even before I had a channel at all. You feel me? Before a channel existed. You know what I mean? You got mail. Yeah, man. So yeah, that concept existed even before. You know what I mean? And like I said, the way my channel is going now, that's kind of what I envisioned when I first started the channel. But as we all know, it didn't go that direction. You feel me? And it is what it is. I remember when we used to shoot marbles in the sandbox and you would lose, run home crying. Who, me? I didn't. I don't remember. I don't remember playing marbles. Maybe I played marbles. I was a kid. Hey, Los Hermanos Hamilton. Nah, my brother was I think he was 36 already when he was at Hamilton. I remember Los Hermanos. I remember hearing about them. Los Hermanos del Barrio. They were like the precursor of like the 30s and the 60s. I didn't play marbles as much, did I? Not as much. I can't remember. Why, Jimmy Hoffa? Did you know me when I was a kid on East 7th Street? Who are you? Do I know you from back in the days? You feel me? Los Hermanos de la Fe. Now they were called Los Hermanos del Barrio. You sound like you knew me. Maybe you did know me. Net Zero. No, I can't remember what I was using back then. I might have had AOL back then. I think we did have AOL back then when I first started doing this. That was back in the days, fool. How you been, Oaklander? I haven't seen you on here in a minute. But yeah, man. That was the story, man. With the dialer. I don't think I had Net Zero. I think I had AOL, if I remember right. That's what I had back in those days. My family had. But yeah, I remember that shit. You'd have to wait. Ask Jeeves, really? I remember Ask Jeeves. That's hella old school. Even to this day, if you find anything about Oakland Chicano history on Google, you'll find me. Swear to God. Yeah, I download music from Napster. Yep, I used to download that. You'll probably come across one of my articles. You know where I documented a lot of Chicano history, and you could look it up. It's on a page called Oakland Wiki. It's like Wikipedia. A lot of the documentation of Chicano history I put on there, bro. A lot. You should look it up. Look up Oakland Wiki Chicano history, and you'll find it. Been good, Jay. Just stuck at work and barely got a chance to kick it. Used to DL music on LimeWire. Yep, I had LimeWire and I had the other one, Napster. I used to download hella music. Don't tell no one. You know me, I love music, bro. I'm a musical person. But yeah, man. Yeah, but that's my story, man. Oh yeah, wasn't Jeeves in downtown Oakland? And while Mexican E40 appeared. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. It is what it is, bro. So I've been doing this. I'm still doing this, and I ain't gone nowhere. What's up, Northbound? Still haven't been to the flea market. Is it popping? Yeah, it depends what day you go. E40, the Mexican E40. What's up, Sea Dog? How you been, bro? I was just mentioning you earlier about the time you interviewed me when I was talking about the history of my channel. Today I'm talking a little bit about the story of my channel and why did I do it. The smell of Clorox from the factory off High Street. I remember the factory on High Street back in the days. Yeah, it was right off by the train tracks, right? I remember. But yeah, man, be safe out there in Tijuana and Tijuas, Puro Cachanilla, where my mom's from. You feel me? But yeah, man. But yeah, that's it, man. I wanted to tell you guys that story, and that's it. Does this channel help others move in excellence? Hopefully. Hopefully it does that. Hopefully, people will get menudo time and in that fashion. Crazy. It does feel the current generation holds the Mexican history. Crazy as that feels, we're the current generation. We're making history. We're moving we're moving with excellence, moving in a menudo fashion. Bang bang. What else? Jose Loke, Jose Loke. Yepa, yepa, yepa. Yo, say you think about the First Amendment auditors from the Bay, like Bay Area Transparency. First Amendment audit? I'm not familiar with that from the Bay, like Bay Area Transparency. I don't know. Is that a who is that? Kind of enlighten me. I'm kind of lost a little bit. My bad. Butthead. But yeah, man, that's it. So what's up, man? What are you guys talking about? Leave it in the comments. Kind of tired of talking. I'm a little sleepy too. Yo, Snapple says so. You're triple OG. I know one thing. Jose earned his subscribers not by telling bullshit stories. That's true. Yepa, yepa, yepa. Which door do I pick? If you know where I got that. There's a bunch of people called First Amendment auditors who film cops and businesses. Huh, I'll look them up. I never heard of them. Are they on IG? I don't think I'm familiar with them, bro. Are they cringy or are they good people, like doing good jobs? I know, 15 more. Hopefully I'm here 15 more. You feel me? But yeah, man. Man, bro, you guys, I'm telling you, bro, everything has been bad health-wise for me lately. Fuck. You know, now I got something called vertigo. You guys know what vertigo is? Sucks. Getting old, bro. Once you start getting old, it's all bad. That's why I gotta take. That's why I've been taking care of myself more now. You guys ever heard of vertigo? Even though the doctor told me it's normal, but that a lot of people get it. But, you know, it has nothing to do with blood pressure or with anything like that. But it's more has to do with my ears. It's something with my ears. I hate that. You had it, Cepeda? That sucks, huh? Y'all be in the Hell's Angel Clubhouse? Nah, I never been there. Great. Yeah, it's like where you feel lightheaded or like I mostly feel it when I do a motion and it makes me lightheaded. But it has something to do with my ear. I have to. The doctor told me I have to do some kind of exercise to loosen something that's in my ear. He said. But yeah, it sucks. It's not cool. It makes you feel like I feel cool right now, but earlier I had it. Every time you move your head, quick everything. Yeah, exactly, Jimmy Hoffa. That's exactly what I'm feeling right now. Sucks. Is that PCP, KJ? Nah, I never touched that stuff. But I got some PCP stories. I don't know if I want to tell them though, because some people might be mad if I tell them. I got it from taking baseball back to the dome. That sucks. Equalize the ear pressure. Yeah. But yeah, man. So hopefully you guys like what I was talking about today. I'm probably gonna get off soon. I'm actually really sleepy. I had a busy day today, man. Like I was like nonstop today. I didn't even work. I just had a lot of stuff I had to do. I'm just tired. Like literally, I'm like half asleep right now. I just did this because I wanted to do this live tonight. If not, I'd probably be sleeping right now. But I'm probably gonna get off soon because I'm getting really sleepy. Shake your drums, yeah, man. Basically, the doctor told me I got to do this exercise where I lie up and lie down and lie back up hella quickly. My ear, I can't hear out to my left. Really? I was deaf for a while. I had a really bad ear infection a while back. PCP, that butt naked. I just remember the KJ, that stuff. You feel me? Do burpees. I had to do that for my panza. Yeah, I gotta lose weight, yo. I got a lot of things I gotta take care of myself, man. It's just, if I want to be here 15 more years, you feel me? I'm not getting any younger. I just gotta take care of myself. That's all it is, you know. What's up, Lucrative Sounds? So deaf like Jermaine. I'm not deaf. It's mostly just they said it's like some kind of earwax I have in my ear that's causing it. Something to do with earwax. What's up, Lucrative Sounds? How you been? You're just tapping in. You didn't watch the whole live. It was a pretty good live tonight. Yep, midlife crisis. I'm just getting old. Don't do the home remedies with garlic, oil, rolled up piece of paper on fire. But yeah, we talked about the history of my channel, why I do this. You know what I mean? How many years I've been doing it, what inspired me to do it. And really what inspired me to do it is like once again, the history of Raza and Chicanos in Oakland not being told. You know what I mean? That's what that's why I started this channel. What's up, Martin? Because I felt our story wasn't told. And that's basically where it started. It started as an idea. Then it actually became research at the Oakland Library. Then it became a MySpace channel page. Then it became a YouTube page. Then it became a Facebook page. Now it's an IG page. And I'm just still doing my thing. Oh, and then also some work I did on Oakland Wiki. Remember to look that up. Oakland Wiki. Look up Chicano history, Oakland Wiki. Wiki like Wikipedia. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I'm celebrating my 15 years of being married to YouTube. Intermittent fasting. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that for sure. So what's up, man? If anybody wants to donate any sex, if anybody wants to donate any money, Jose gonna start rapping life when I remember how it all began. I used to sing dirty rap to my Eastside fans back then. I know you kind of stopped that way. As quiet as it kept, Jose the Mexican Oakland historian. Right. Better believe it. Give me a quick second. I want to know real quick. Yeah, man. So if you guys want to donate any super checks, anything on the Cash App, help out Jose's Chicano Fund. Don't be afraid to leave a little donation. Super chat always accepted. Cash App always accepted. Anything you want to give to this old Oakland Chicano. I want you to produce your own TV show for like. I would love to, bro. I would really love to. Just seeing 100 years records on YouTube will show up on Oklahoma. Yeah, man. You know, one thing I did think about doing. I really thought about this, and I got inspiration from Bronx Tale. Oh, thanks, Fabi. One thing that were you the one hitting me up yesterday, Fabi? That if I had an email, let me know. But Bear Cheska. I remember like from Bronx Tale, the tall guy. I remember from Bronx Tale, yeah, I heard about that, Martin, but it didn't happen. And what was the reason? If you don't mind me asking, you wanted to hit me up on the email. Just curious. You don't have to tell me what, but what is the reasoning? We'll say, but it wasn't in Chihuahua. It was in Matamoros in Tamaulipas. But yeah, I heard about it. Sounds crazy. But anyway, you know, the dude that did Bronx Tale, Chaz Palminteri, he started that story by doing a one-man show about his life growing up in the Bronx. And I had an idea, and you never know, it could become a reality one day. Because I really thought about it. And you know me, I'm the type of dude, when I have an idea, I put it to fruition. But I always thought about doing a one-man show about East 7th Street in the 80s. And all the characters and people I grew up around on East 7th Street when I was a kid, from the good to the bad. I always wanted, Like that was all that's always come to my mind. You know what I mean? Like doing a one-man show called East 7th Street. You know what I mean? Talking to like me doing the one-man show, being different characters in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And me being me as a kid, seeing all the craziness in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? I always that'd be one thing that I would love to do that you never know. Jimmy Hoffa could become a TV show. Just something I've always thought about, but I've never really studied one-man shows. I would really have to study them and see more info on how I can contribute to you and your group. Um, you could hit. You don't have IG. I have Oakland Latinos United IG. You could hit me up privately. Who's gonna play Emmy? Me, bro. I can play Emiliano hella good, bro. I can play that fool hella good. May he rest in peace. Yeah, I always thought about doing that, bro. One man show about my neighborhood in Oakland, bro. When I was a kid, and bring up Emiliano, bring up Emiliano, bring up all my kid friends, bring up all the adults in the neighborhood, like my dad's friend Godlos, like old man Socorro, and a lot of people from the neighborhood, bro. Hey, does anybody remember Jesus? He was the guy that had like 1,300 kids. They used to live across the street from me. You know what I mean? Who knew Jesus? He actually had a son named Martin. That's not your family, is it, Martin? You didn't live on East 7th Street when you were a little kid, did you? But there was a guy named Jesus, and he had like 1,000 kids. And I remember one of his daughters was my first crush. Swear to God, you know what I mean? And he ended up moving to the Deep with his family because I think they bought a house over there. You know what I mean? And I remember they had a sister named Teresa, I think was her name, and they had a sister named Gloria. You feel me? I remember all these people, bro. What else? Oh, who's Emmy? Emmy was the neighborhood drunk, bro. Emiliano. Everybody on East 7th Street knew that fool. He passed away recently, bro. He caught you getting stinky pinky. What's the raza? Nah, but I did go to Lazier for kindergarten. Oh shit, you did? Yeah, man. But yeah, I remember Jesus had a son named Martin who had a similar cleft lip like I had. So if you're watching, bro, I remember your family, bro. If you're out there, you feel me? I remember your sisters too, and your dad Jesus and all them. All these memories that I have of the neighborhood, bro. You feel me? That would make a dope ass one man show though, because I have a lot of stories, especially my crazy ass brothers and some of the people in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? It would be. I would think it would be dope. It would be a whole nother view of Oakland. You feel me? That I don't want to let it die or be forgotten for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. Off pent face, smiling, green, smiling. Algas peluda. We had Don Skinny Brother married to a big tree for big torta abuses ass. Like, yeah, man. I always thought about that. Who knows? You never know. It could become something, but you never know. It could just be me having an idea, but you never know. You never know. You never know. But there's also a lot of people that I remember their faces in the neighborhood, but I can't remember their names. I'm already old, bro. So some people I just don't remember their names anymore. You know, but I remember their faces. You guys ever had that? Where you remember someone's face, but you just can't remember the name? He's gonna get you for different artists. Nah, bro. I was a kid then, bro. Victory Outreach. Well, sideshows. Suave Productions will put it out. No, I didn't grow up in Jingletown. I grew up on East 7th Street, across next to Jingletown. I grew up there till I was 14. Then I moved to Sacramento for a couple of years, and I came back to Oakland, and I lived on around 35th Ave for a while. Then I ended up in Contra Costa County. Well, no, I lived in Vallejo for a little bit. Then I ended up in Contra Costa County. It's crazy how my hood changed. Little kid, we had two banks, two pharmacies, Drag Doggy Diner. Yep, I remember all that. Hey, where's Mr. Cooper from? I think Mr. Cooper's from 73rd. Why, Fabi? Are you from Jingletown? I think Mr. Cooper's from 73rd, bro. That's what he said in an interview that he grew up over there by the Eastmont Mall. But I mean, technically, Fabi, you could say I grew up in Jingletown because I was always in Jingletown. You know, I remember all that area, East Ninth. I remember the church, Mary Helper Christians or Maria Auxiliadora. I remember the little park that used to be under the overpass. You know what I mean? Lazier. I know all that shit. La Barca Market, all that. Oh, you from the 40s? From 40s. So you grew up over there by 41st. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Yeah, he's from 73rd, I think, originally. Bosco's, yeah. All that. I remember all that stuff. I've been all up and down those places, man. I know it like the back of my hand. All that whole area, Jingletown, East 7, Chapman, all that. Elmwood, all those streets. I know them like the back of my hand. But 39th Ave, stupid 40s. So to me, when people tell me what part of Oakland, I always say the Doves, 30s, East 7th, all that little area. What was the show about? I forgot. I hope it was about Oakland, kind of. Well, Mr. Cooper, it was just about, was he like supposedly a Warriors player, a coach or something? So it was Victory Outreach. Yeah. I remember they used to get mad at me. Did I ever tell you that story? When they'd be like, yeah, we're from Victory Outreach. I'd be like, Victory Output? They'd be like, what? Like, any call Victory Output? Or, no, it's Victory Outreach. God, I was a douche when I was young. Like Victory Output. Hold on. He became a school teacher. Victory Output. He was a high school coach. Jose knows the ins and outs of Oakland Blade. Kinda. the only rapper that I met as a kid was MC Hammer. Never met Too Short. I met Keek before a long time ago. Who else I meet? I did meet a couple rappers in Oakland. I can't remember who at the moment. Victor, I went there when I was a kid. Duke Pastor when I went. Yep, the Oakland crowd. We used to have the Victory Hour too come through and pray with us in the 90s. Yeah, them fools used to be everywhere. Victory Hours, I used to see them in the 30s. I used to see them in the Doves. I used to see them walking around East 14 trying to pray with people. They'd always have like a cute girl with them to suck you in. For real, they would always have like these hot girls with them. And in Sacramento, when I was out there, they would do the same thing. They would come up to you with some hot girl. Like, oh, you want to learn about our program? And you'd go up to talk to them because some hot girl's talking to you. And next thing you know, you have some pastor. Oh, you want to pray? You're like, oh, my God. Sure, in Fremont, when I was little, even my grandma knew who he was. The cute Cholo's daughter, exactly. Chuco was a pastor at Studio 47. Oh, okay, La Barca. Yeah. I've been to La Barca many times. Hey, Fabi, did you know there used to be a store on East 7th Street right there on Derby? It used to be owned by this lady named Becky. She was a Fat Tone's aunt, I think. Yeah, she was Fat Tone's aunt. They used to own the market right there. I don't know if you guys remember that market. Our relatives own La Barca. Yep, I remember La Barca's still there, ain't it? I used to go to a female's house and their dad, I'm going to take their daughters to church and pray. I think he did. I remember when his grill was all messed up. Mom, tell him he should get some in a song. I'm trying to think what other rappers I met. I remember meeting Debo back in the days. I met MC Man back in the days. Who else I met? I met Lugo. Chicano rappers I met. I knew Big Dan, who was from the Brown Buffaloes. Uh, I knew a few people. I met almost all the Chicano rappers from Oakland. Uh, Black rappers, I'm trying to think. I know I met MC Hammer when I was a kid. I met Keek one time. I know I met some other ones. I just can't remember who. Too Clean, Too Short. Grandma used to live on 92nd Eve. My homie was his cousin. Too Short was always with. Oh yeah, Too Clean. That grill. Oh yeah, I met BSA. I met Chuco from BSA. I never met the other dude, but I met Chuco from BSA. Yeah, he's hella cool. I met him back in the days. So I never met Sally Shell. I met a dude who knew Drew Down. I want to say I seen Drew Down one time. I want to say I seen him in Santa Rita, bro. It looked just like him a long time ago. The only time I ever went to Santa Rita. But yeah, man. I remember I met a dude one time and he told me he was related to I used to work with him. He told me he was related to one of the dudes from the Delinquents. I remember. But yeah, man. Oh, and I never met him, but I used to always I used to always see him around was that one fool, CNH. I used to always see him around back in the days. He used to always be in a Mercedes, I remember, like a drop top. I don't know if he lived around Fruitvale or something, but I used to always see him in the Diamond District in that area by like Fruitvale, MacArthur. I seen him around that area hella times when I was younger. Asked me the other day if I knew any rappers. I told him I went to school with three members of Three Times Crazy. But yeah, man, that was back in the days. He acted some kind of way. The Lake Merritt. You're talking about Lake Merritt, the famous lake in Oakland. He used to hop hoop back in the days at Berkeley, CNH. Yeah. Nah, I remember this was after really the Loonies and all that. This had to have been like 2001 or two. I remember I used to see him a lot driving around like MacArthur and like Fruitvale in that area. I seen him a few times in that area when I was younger. So I don't know if he lived around there or maybe just hung around there, but I remember seeing him around back in the days. You know, that dude CNH. That was like in the 2000s, back in the days. But yeah, yo, like I said, I'm probably gonna get off in like 5 more minutes. I've been on here for like an hour and a half. You know, just talking the talk. Feel me? Hopefully, you guys like tonight's live. I used to see Drew Down, Yuck Mob, Rapping Ron, the Delinquents, the Govs, Fear, Pooh Man, Seagram, all the time in the town. I believe it. Bears Greatest Hits. I think I had that album. I had all those old compilations. Also, Suge Knight, Mean Mug, and the tour bus I was with. Had to sleep. I'll reactivate my IG to send you a message. Uh, I do got an email. Hold on. I'm gonna put it in the comments. You can send me an email there. It's not my personal email, but it's an email I use, like a secondary. Hold on, I'm about to post. But you can send me a message there. I just posted it if you see it. Fabi. When I seen Fabi, if you see that email, that's where you could reach me. Uh Timo, when I met MC Hammer, this was '89 when he made the Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him movie. They were filming right there on East 15th and East 14th. Yeah, this was the era when he was still wearing the baggy clothes, but he was actually wearing an A's sweatsuit when I met him, so he wasn't dressed like typical MC Hammer. Sibo one time, that fool jumped out the car, so I bounced out my shit. I didn't recognize him. He was all juiced because he heard me bumping his shit. Sibo from Sacramento? That fool was jumping out on people in Oaktown? Yeah, I heard Sibo used to always be in Oakland, though, even though he was from Sac. Mean mugged me too when I was getting out of the music. Oh, yeah, you told me that story, Lucrative. I was a kid when I met him. He was cool. He was like shaking her hand and giving kids autographs. I was right there on East 15th and 23rd. That was like in '89, around the time the earthquake happened, roughly around that time. That's what they say. I didn't know him, bro, Timo, so I'm not sure. I just remember he had a big ass entourage when I was there. I remember Oaktown 357 were there and all them folks that used to be with him. But yeah, that was back in the days. But yeah, I'm about to get off soon. All right, 2 more minutes and I'm gonna get off. No problem. You seen the No Vulture with Bo? He said he used to cop sacks in Sobrani Park. Oh yeah, I think I seen that. Now he's feeling himself because he's heard an essay in the town bumping his shit. He gave me a hug. He said, "Right on, cuz." That's dope. He lived in Oakland when it was real. Crazy face, green smile, greens. Yeah, I did see the interview he did with him a while back. Yeah, I had never heard of Sibo. The only reason I heard of him was because I lived in Sacramento for a little bit. That was the first time I ever heard of Sacramento rappers. I had never heard any rappers from Sacramento. When I lived out there, I started hearing about Sibo. You don't see it. I'll put it one more time in the comments. Hold on. Hold on. It's going to come in one more time, so be on the lookout for it. I just posted it. It says Corel Oak at yahoo.com. They had them meet and greet at T. Wazzy's. Oh, yeah? Yeah, but I had never heard of Sacramento rappers till I lived out there. I heard about X Rated and Sibo and Brother Lynch. I never was big on Brother Lynch, but I like Sibo more. X Rated was cool too. I used to see him all the time when he was wearing the troop on Soviet. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the Corel one. But yeah, I remember that. Hammer used to be on Soul Beat all the time back in the days. Oh yeah, Marvelous. Yeah, I remember hearing about her. Yeah, Brother Lynch. I don't know. A lot of people used to like him, but he had a few cool songs, but never was my style. All that deep frying baby nuts and all that weird shit he used to rap about. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Behave yourself. Yeah, he was talking about some weird things. I have no clue. Even though he changed it up, like if you notice his later albums, he didn't really talk about stuff like that. That was only like his first album where he did that, but he kind of started changing his tone after that. But yeah, he was always kind of weird. I never was feeling him that much. Feel me? But all right, y'all. I'm about to get off. You guys be safe. I'm really sleepy actually. I'm tired. I'm gonna pass out. Uh and went to jail. Oh, that was Big Lurch, I think, was his name. Deep fried chimichangas, chimichonas, chicharrones. But hey, y'all, for reals, I'm about to get off. Thank you guys for tapping in tonight. I was out here telling my story. You feel me? Telling the story of why I started this channel and the whole history of how it came about. And yeah, be sure if you didn't watch it, be sure to rewind it and watch it. If you want to donate a super chat or donate any money, there's the Cash App. Anything you want to help out the group, the Oakland Latinos United, don't be afraid to do it. But other than that, like I said, I'm about to get off. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed tonight's live with J number 82. I didn't advertise it as good this time. That's why it was slow to start at first. But we got some people on, so yeah, man. Thank you guys. 15 years, technically 16 years, because the channel's been up since 2000. Since 2007, but I really started posting videos uh, uh, 15 years ago. The channel had kind of sat there, and then I started posting videos in 2008. Oh yeah, Richard, back when when Tommy Sotomayor was around and Sergeant Willie Pete. You remember those guys? Real town rappers. Jay the Wanderer for sure. All right, y'all. Like I said, I'm about to get off. You guys be safe and don't get into trouble. All right, man. Keep supporting, keep subscribing, let people know about the channel, share my videos, and all that good stuff. All right, y'all. Be safe, like.